What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So for today we are going to be working on Doge's car. If you guys aren't familiar with Doge, he do be called John in normal people terms, but anyways, yeah, he's coming by right now. It is about 8:30 in the morning, Sunday morning, and taking a break from the Integra, at least for the most part of the day, because Doge is actually hitting the dyno this coming Friday. Yeah, but we'll wait for him to get here and I'll let him explain what we're doing, and we'll see him shortly. And it sounds like I can hear him in the distance already. Heard you from a solid, like, probably when you were off of Main and Meridian for sure.
K-swap the world.
Kofi?
Little morning fuel. And one hash brown.
Yeah, her tail is like a freaking weapon. Well, why are you here?
Oh, because I enjoy punishment like Chris does, and wanted to come outside in this warm, muggy day.
Yeah, 9 a.m. if that, and it's already like 143 degrees out.
Yeah, it's funny. It feels like 80% humidity. I know it's not, but
yeah, it do be nasty.
it's nasty. But I got an appointment with Exact Dyno with Tim over there on this coming up Friday, and wanted to hit Chris up and actually do up a proper intake here. This little AutoZone job has been putting in work, but kind of wanted to get something a little better. So
Where are we gonna route it?
that is the real question. I do have some room back here. I brought some zip ties and stuff to reroute some things.
Kick the hoses back.
Yeah, to kind of clear this guy up out of the way. The brake booster hose is going to be in the way. Going to need to move him. And then, yeah, even the power steering hose can move.
So we can, ideally we want to run it down.
I think so, yeah. I was kind of thinking just to have it live in this area.
Yeah, if you have any space up here, we can build a little box around it like I do on mine. Come on. We can build a box like that, so that way, because I have the hole in the thing there, right here, so it force feeds it and it protects it from water and stuff.
Yeah, that was my main concern, was the water stuff. It doesn't rain much here in Arizona, but when it does, it floods. I think in one of Chris's previous videos a couple of years ago. Did you have any videos for the flood that you had?
No, not on the actual house. I have them on my phone, but yeah, I mean, we can definitely make a little box. Bring it down somewhere down there. May have to do that like after the dyno or something, depending on how much time we have today, because I got church in a few hours. But freaking flies, dude!
Dying.
Oh, these flies have been everywhere for the last week, and thankfully, you people don't think I'm like whatever. They've been everywhere, not just my house.
no, over in my side of town too. I feel like we just brought everything, the mugginess, the flies, everything back from Colorado.
Even went to go get lunch with some friends the other day in like Phoenix, and they were inside Whataburger. So we're gonna do this. I'll have to make a couple pie cuts, but thankfully it's more or less kind of like a 120 degree bend. So that should be easy. But I actually had to go buy a new bandsaw. Funny story about that. Let me go show you that. So this is my new horizontal bandsaw. If you guys have been watching or know that this is my normal one, this is the Harbor Freight 4x6 inch, and this is the Harbor Freight 7x12 inch. But all the research I've done says this is the exact same model, piece for piece, pretty much for like the Jet. I don't know the part number, and then the also Daytona, whatever that brand is. So there's like 3 or 4 of these that are the exact same thing, just different stickers. And then the Harbor Freight one just happens to come with the worst blade out of the 3 or 4, but those are relatively cheap. The good one's like 40 bucks. This one, I was in the middle of a job yesterday doing a resonator on a customer car, and inside of here is the drive gear and stuff. Like this has like a worm gear which attaches to a gear, and for whatever reason China thought it was a great idea to use a brass gear in there, and every now and again the blade on this little guy sticks because it's a super small blade. You can see just how big that blade is. The other one's like literally half the size in thickness and height. And it just was one of those spots where I was kind of partially holding the workpiece by hand. The blade caught, and for whatever reason it just completely sheared off half the teeth on the gear. So that rendered that one useless. Now I can buy just a replacement gear, not from Harbor Freight. There's an aftermarket company that sells that gear, which I will buy to fix that one, but I needed something right away because I have more work to do besides Doge's intake. I've got other stuff that I need this saw specifically for. And some of you guys are like, but what about a chop saw? Presumably, I'm assuming some people would say that because people have said that on Facebook already. But no, the chop saw has its purpose. It's good for steel, but I do a lot of aluminum work too for intercooler stuff, a lot of intake and charge piping. You can't do aluminum for crap on a cold saw because that just tears through it. You can't use a cutoff wheel on aluminum. It just tears through it. The cleanup takes way more time than the cut ever does. Bandsaws are fast, precise, consistent. It's just life's so much easier. And this one's got a lot of cool stuff on it. It's got hydraulic feed, which I'm trying to work that issue out now. It's not really wanting to do its job. I may just have to fill the cylinder. I don't know if they shipped it empty or not. It's got coolant capabilities. Like it's got a big old jug in there. I just gotta fill it up. It's gotta go get some coolant. Bigger motor, more torque, presumably. Says same horsepower, but I don't know. Look at the size difference. Huge. And this one's just all around better build quality. And hopefully the gear inside of here is in brass. But from the pictures I've seen online, it looks to be steel or something, magnesium, I don't know, we'll see. But as long as it works. But yeah, we're gonna try it out here. I made a few test cuts last night, tried to make sure the blade was relatively true. And from what I can tell so far, the blade actually came out of the box on this one relatively straight. So we're gonna find out here on some aluminum. Alright, so basically what we're going where we're going from is obviously throttle body. We're trying to tuck it down right here. Now that the filter's out of the way, we can kind of see. It's pretty simple, especially on a setup like this. You don't have to get anything crazy. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use my angle finder here. Gotta get a general idea. Kind of finding my angle like that. So I already know that this is probably basically a 45 because this is what was on there before. That basically is a 45. Yeah, that's basically like 45, 50 degrees because it's just an AutoZone one. So I'm sure they only sell it in 45 degree increments. So we know 45. That'll kind of give us the straight, maybe a 40, and then we can just kind of go from there. Maybe add another. Probably a 60, but yeah, just gonna get my protractor, one that actually has battery life, and take my measurements, and we'll go and we'll divide that up. So say this is 135 degrees that we need total. I will divide that by the amount of pieces I want to use, and then you divide that by 2 because each side of a piece of pie is the angle. So if we need, if I do a 90 on this second portion, and I want to use say 6 pieces, that'd be, or even what, 5 pieces, 15 degrees, whatever it is, so that way you would do 7.5 degrees. You would set your saw to 7.5 degrees, 7.5, 7.5, 15, and then you do what, the 5 pieces of pie, and that will get you your angle that you need. So I'm gonna go ahead, work this out, and get to cutting. Yes, this is basically 45. We are gonna have to use pie cuts though, because this is one of those cases where we can't necessarily, we might be able to. One of those cases where you kind of got to rotate a certain section a little bit, and that's what pie cuts allows you to do. You can have one piece, say, going straight, then you can turn the other piece like 2 degrees, 2 degrees, 2 degrees, kind of make like a swirling effect if you need to. Can't really do that with normal sections. But yeah, so 45 right off of that. And it's going to read a little bit off because it's going off of a 90 degree plane, so I'm getting it right where I want it. Basically 135, so 90 and 135 minus 90 would be 45 degrees. So we're gonna need 45 there, and then basically straight 90 there. So ideally, like I had guessed before a minute ago, yeah, we're gonna need 135 degrees. I'm gonna break that up and do some freaking math and punch some flies and everywhere. Yeah, we'll break that down into a few different pieces. I don't really have any angled sections, so this is gonna be almost entirely out of pies. So I think we're gonna make some fatter pie. So with the 90, I might be able to do it out of like, I don't know, 3-4 pieces instead. Just do some big fat chunks. But I don't know, we'll cut them. So I decided this is the piece that I was already making pie cuts off of. I just measured it. These are 7.5 degree cuts, which means 15 degree pieces of pie. So looking at the phone, we got 135 degree bend total. Divide that by 15 degree angles. We got 9 pieces. So that means we can cut these things a little bit wide. Obviously your radius, your like bend radius is going to be depicted on how big the pieces of pie actually are. So if you need a tighter radius, you would have to use a finer cut. So say like 7 degree total cuts, so it would be like 3.5, 4 degrees, or even 9 degree cuts or something. 7.5 is for like really skinny stuff. We don't really need that tight of a bend radius, so we should be just fine with the 15. So I'm gonna go ahead on the saw. It's got angle gauge on the back. I usually double check it with my protractor and just get cutting. So I don't know if it's a design flaw or if me and Doge are just really bad at reading instructions or the lack thereof. We had to adjust the motor because the blade that's on here, like I said, kind of sucks. I haven't ordered a new one. I just bought this last night. I just needed to try and cut some pipes for now, so we adjusted the blade speed up to whatever it is for the aluminum, the fastest one. You can't just set the motor normally. On the other one, you just you loosen a bolt and the whole motor kind of swivels like that. This one is supposed to be on some slides, but it doesn't work that we can figure out. So we had to loosen the motor mount bolts and like slide the motor up and down, and then Doge had to kind of like do it the old school way, like you're feeding a chain link on a bicycle chain or something, like kind of get it onto the next thing and rotate the gear to get it to bite down. It's gonna be a pain in the ass when I gotta change it, but we got a pie cut, so just run through, make a bunch of these, add, and keep at it. So we got our pie cuts ready, deburred, cleaned up. So I'm just kind of piecing this together by hand. I know I'm gonna have to add a front section. I don't have a bead roller yet. It's one of my tools I gotta get yet. So I like to just cut the short ends off of other pieces of pipe that have the bead roll. So I'm going off of basically the end of the coupler here and kind of just generally eyeballing it, holding it. We can get that. This is the 3 pieces, so this is 45 degrees. It kicks us right out straight. So then I'm probably gonna have to use, I'd say, maybe probably 2 inches of a straight section, and then I can probably piece together some of these. I got some scotch tape. Piece together the 90. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to tack these 3 together, tack a small piece on there. I'll probably do like another 1-inch piece before this, and then fit up the 90, and then it's just a matter of dropping it down and making the filter fit somewhere where it's not gonna hit everything. I mean, ideally we can just kind of straight shot it from there. We don't even need to do any fancy curves. Slightly rotated in the coupler. That gives you plenty of bite. That whole first piece is going to be clamping force. Set that up to that, and then...
Yeah, I mean, even if the filter's living right here, if we got enough room to
we can definitely kick it down. Might even just have to start the 90 right off of this. And tape this piece together. So we kind of just need it to go roughly pretty much straight down there. So I'll set it on the inside of the tube there, so inside of the, yeah, so I think right about there. So this thing actually has a tape measure on it, kind of. I'd say about 3 inches of straight, and we can just attach it all up.
So proud.
Yep, and then looks like we can straight shot it pretty much straight down there. Move that. Let me get a tape measure quick so we can measure. So we're trying to ideally probably get the tip of the, actually, you know what, I guess we can just kind of shove the filter down there. Yeah. So ideally we need, we'll say 7 inches of straight, because this filter is super deep, so if he needs to suck it up even higher, he'll have plenty of room for that. Alright, got the straight section tacked up in here. Got a little bit of hose therapy to do down there, but overall, that sits right where we need her to. Yeah, pretty stoked on that, looking good. So I'm gonna go ahead, get this welded up, and we can slap this on the Doge.
Nope, nope.
Forgot to add the little thingy. Added it, very hot. They're hard. Now we can go ahead, bolt this up, and then we'll just mark out where he needs his IAT really fast, which would probably be somewhere around here, and just drill a little hole for it, shove it in there.
Okay, that is hot. It's warm.
Yeah, a little toasty.
That feels perfect. Look at that.
Yeah, and we.
Yeah, I can feed it in there a little bit more.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if we put the clamp up just a little bit, that'll be perfect.
Yeah.
So just mark your IAT.
So I think pretty much just right there.
Where?
I think back here should be fine because the AC stuff's kind of in where it's going to be. I'm really not going to be adding anything else.
So just on the top side, like right over here.
Yeah.
We'll get pull her off. Let's drill it. Would you just look at that? Got the IAT sensor in there freaking perfectly. All the welds came out pretty darn stinking nice, if I do say so for my own work. And she's ready to make some choo-choo noises.
Choo-choo.
There we go. All right. Like I said, we'll probably end up coming back here and making a little box around it, or at least even a tray underneath it to stop any debris from coming up to it, like even like a little L bracket to bolt to the frame rail or something. But it's one of those minimal effort things that could save your engine. Got it all buttoned up. He didn't have a hose quite ready, so we just taped it for now. I don't have a vacuum cap. IAT's hooked up, filters on, everything's tightened down. Nice and solid.
I'm stoked. We're looking pretty good.
And stoked. And I got a nosebleed because my body just hates me, and this summer ain't too kind. It's so dry out here. But yeah, that is gonna wrap up, I think, this whole intake job. So I think it turned out pretty good.
Yeah, I'm stoked.
I think he's gonna end up scuffing it with like some Scotch-Brite and clearing it and stuff. Wow, I look retarded with this thing in my face. But anyways, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you want to help support the channel, especially help me recoup some funds off that bandsaw, go hit up the Big Cartel and get some merch. I'd greatly appreciate it. We're gonna go get some lunch, and I'm gonna go back to finishing the video on touching up the roll bar, painting the hatch, and all that. So be on the lookout for that. I don't know which one's coming first. You guys will be the first to know besides me. Anyways, do what you love, feel good about the rest, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace out.